Hello, my name is Freddy Nilsson and I work as a remanufacturing technician here at one of the Renault Trucks remanufacturing centers. I want to borrow a few minutes of your time in order to explain the risk of not using Renault Truck exchange parts. And today we have a very good example in terms of a remanufactured DXI 13 engine that we bought from a competitor and analyzed here. In order to test the engine, we had to complete it with around 120 parts. These are parts that would have been included in a Renault Truck exchange specification. And for many of them, like fuel lines and wiring harness, they would have been new due to quality and safety reasons. Tests showed that the engine didn't comply with the specifications. It was too weak, it smoked too much, and it consumed more fuel than specified. And it would surely not comply with the emission legislations either. Let us take a look at some of the parts of the engine and a few samples of the non-conformances that we found during our analysis. The rocker arm mechanism had been reused without inspection, as we found severely worn parts, leading to loss of oil pressure and reduced lifetime. Most alarming would be the engine brake pistons that are severely rusted, jeopardizing the braking function of the vehicle. On the double idler gear, the round nut was not secured according to specification, with a risk of the nut coming loose with an engine seizure as a consequence. A Renault Truck exchange engine goes through complete disassembly and all wear parts are replaced. Parts subject to reuse are inspected and restored to a technically new specification. The valve clearances in the engine were too tight, leading to burned valves, lost compression and reduced lifetime. A genuine exchange engine has all adjustments and settings adjusted to the drawing specification. Two of the cylinder head screws were not torqued according to specification, and the risk for leak and reduced lifetime is obvious. On a genuine exchange engine, we torque all screws to drawing specification. Most of the sealings in the engine had been reused, sealed with silicone. A genuine remanufactured engine will always have new, latest specification sealings. We found excessive wear on the bearings in the engine, and this is after only 1 hour test run. The reasons are the rough bearing surfaces on the crankshaft and contamination that had diluted the engine oil. The Renault Truck remanufacturing process prevents any of this to happen. We found wrong older versions of liners, pistons, cylinder head and cylinder block. This is probably part of the explanation to the loss of power and the smoke levels during engine testing. A Renault Truck genuine exchange engine will always comprise the correct parts, ensuring that it complies with the latest updated product specification. The cylinder head had damages around the valve seats. It had old valve guides out of tolerance, leading to leaks, improper valve sealing and loss of power. We also saw incorrect machined valve seats, leading to leaks, improper valve sealing and loss of power. In a genuine exchange engine, all machining is done according to the drawing specification, and all damaged and worn parts are either repaired or replaced with genuine spare parts. To summarize, we saw a mix of non-conformances here. We found wrong parts. It is obvious that the competition does not have access to the correct product specification. We saw worn and corroded parts that would never have passed an inspection with us. We saw parts that had been reused, whereas in a Renault Truck exchange engine, they would have been replaced. We saw incorrect assembly, adjustments and settings, and we saw contaminations, diluting the engine oil and harming the engine. All these things will dramatically reduce the engine performance and lifetime. A Renault Truck exchange engine shares the same performances and specifications as the corresponding new engine, respecting all product changes that have happened during its lifetime. All of its parts subject to reuse are inspected or machined, ensuring that they comply with the latest product specification. And all parts that should be replaced are replaced by genuine spare parts. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you agree with me when I say that it's too risky to choose a non-genuine remanufactured product. The consequences are far too important.